Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Andrew Report, and we are here for the fifth in a 12-part series as we Neil Gaiman through Stardust by Neil Gaiman. So what happened in this chapter? We return to the simp in chief as he crafts a crutch for his dearly abducted. She tries to get up, but it seems her leg really is broken. She really is injured. It turns out that she fell from the sky after being hit by a small yellow stone, and now, obviously, she has to carry it with her. Tristan doesn't know why. We don't know why. Presumably, the star does. So we're just left with some quirky bit of mystery for now, as seems to be, at this point in the novel, Gaiman's calling card. The two stumble into a lion and unicorn fight. You know, how many times has this happened to you? Which logically, it turns out, is from a nursery rhyme. The star lady then implores the simp guy to stop the fight. Go ahead and approach this lion. That's the obvious thing to do. So Tristan, taking the most obvious course of action, places the crown that happens to be lying there, the king's crown that happens to be lying there, on the lion's head. This stops the fight, and then the lion immediately obeys Tristan in the way that kings do. Simp and Star then spend the night with the unicorn. They are a trio at this point, which, let's look at things. Tristan began alone, now he is 3. Witch Lady began as 3, she left, now she has 1. Primus, don't you want to see me stick 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids, started as 3, and now he's 1. We're going to return to the number 1, though. We return first to the Witch Queen, who has come across another witch. This new witch, who is an old lady, not the old witch, who is a new lady, is cooking our character lady witch, the witch with whom we are familiar. She's cooking her some rabbit meat. Rabbit meat with truth serum, wouldn't you know it? Or truth thyme. It just depends on how you really want to get into the colloquialisms. And she tells the new witch, which is the old witch, the old lady witch, not the old in the story witch, which is the new witch, the young witch. Our character lady witch tells the character lady witch who was just stumbled upon her evil plan. Then she makes the new witch, who is the old lady, forget about it. Because, you know, why not? We've just come across a problem. We may as well dispel it as not a problem. Lord Primus shows up at Skaith's Ebb. A small... Doesn't that sound like something that you would find in a Star... Lord Primus comes across Skaith's Edge. That sounds like Star Wars. That's what that sounds like. The only reason I say this, on my personal channel, I have been reviewing episodes of The Mandalorian, so Star Wars is fresh in my mind. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but that show is fantastic. Shows up in a small seaport town known as Skaith's Ebb, and he greases up the town folk as he lays the rumor that he will be departing on a ship to the east. He's being pursued, wouldn't you know it? And he loses his tail when he stays in the village as opposed to leaving on the ship. His tail had coerced his way onto the ship. What a neat trick. The simp in Simpleton has become hungry, so he and Star and Unicorn stop by a small village, and he leaves them to go get food, as the Star Lady has promised she's not going anywhere. Don't you know, my leg is broken. I can't go anywhere right now. I'd be super slow on top of this unicorn. So the simp and simpleton goes ahead and finds his way into town, gets some food for the unicorn, and wonders in the way that simps do. Wouldn't Star Lady like some of this wonderful fruit that I have been gifted in the town? Wouldn't she love it? As he finds his way back to the tree where he left them, and they have left him. What are you going to do? So she's gone when he gets back. Cut to the witch who senses the star coming ever closer through magic because she's magical being a witch. Cut to Primus who figures that the star is going ever further because he has rune stones sort of thing. I think that's what's going on there. He has runes that he has figured out how to tell that she is leaving, going ever further. Here's what's going on for me in this series of chapters. I don't really like Neil Gaiman. And I have started to pinpoint reasons why. I am not trying to talk you out of your love for Neil Gaiman, but lend me your ear. Page 122. They have said that the Lillim were dead before now, but they have always lied. The squirrel has not yet found the acorn that will grow into the oak that will be cut to form the cradle of the babe who will grow to slay me. That's enough, Neil. That's enough. That's way too much. Way too much. That's out there. Okay? That's a little try hard. So, from that, we find he's got all of these just oh no, I didn't write the page number down. Oh, I got it. He's got all of the when the simp in chief goes into the town to find some food, the lady gives him a mug of small beer on page 132. A mug of small beer. A small mug of beer? Perhaps? A small mug of beer? Not a mug of small beer. How small is the beer inside? How small is that beer, Neil? Just weird ways of saying things. Maybe it's just too British for me. I don't know. But we also have, I keep trying to turn the page in my notebook as opposed to the page in the book. We also have on page 124, there are no horrors in Scathe Ebb. All right, I'm out. I'm done. I can't deal with an ebb that has no horror. No, that's not what I was going for. There are no whores in Scathe Ebb, or none that consider themselves as such, although there have always been many women who, if pressed, would describe themselves as much married. With one husband on this ship, here every 6 months, and another husband on that ship back in the port for a month or so every 9 months. The mathematics of the thing have always kept most folk satisfied. And if ever it disappoints that a man returns to his wife while one of her other husbands is still in occupancy, why, then there is a fight, and the grog shops to comfort the loser. The sailors do not mind the arrangement, for they know that this way there will at least be one person who, at last, will notice when they do not come back from the sea, and will mourn their loss. There's an interesting tidbit. There's a novel in there. There's a short story in there. There's a poem in there. Hell, there's probably a song from the 70s in there. It seems that there's a lot packed in that little thing there, but there's nothing to do with this story. Neil, what in the high hell does that have to do with the book you actually did write? Now, if we wanted to be generous, we could see some similarity between the sailors who have much married wives, and they're leaving their much married wives to go on adventures on which they will almost certainly die, yada, yada, yada. We can see all of this as it compares to Tristram. I'm just going to keep going. As it compares to Tristram and Tristram's story as he is leaving the woman he hopes will be his wife in town to set upon some dastardly mission where he could die. We could stretch and give Neil Gaiman that credit, but there are enough asides in this novel. I don't know if I can give him that credit. So we're going to move on to page 118 as the witches are convening. And there is a bit of tension after the truth serum. "I swear," said the lady in the scarlet kirtle, "that by the rules and constraints of the sisterhood to which you and I belong, by the puissance of the Lilum, and by my lips and breasts and maidenhood, that I mean you no harm, and shall treat you as if you were my own guest." I'm sorry, this is before there is the scuffle between them. I just thought that there was some interesting words at play in that little bit there. Here, my knuckles not popping. That's how masculine I am. The puissance of the Lilum. Puissance is a word that means great power, influence, or prowess. So, okay, we understand what's going there. The power of the Lilum. Lilum, L-I-L-I-M. What are we doing with that? Lilin is an ancient Mesopotamia, I can't Mesopotalk. In ancient Mesopotamian religion, a Lilin, L-I-L-I-N, is a hostile spirit that attacks men. In Jewish mythology, it is a night spirit. So here we have the power of the night spirits which attack men. And that seems very fitting, doesn't it? We have this collection of... So let's talk about gender a little bit. We had the brothers 3 that became the brother 1. We had the sisters 3 that became the sister 1. In this, what we are doing is we are setting each of these sides as a gender. We are engendering these individuals with a gender role. It will be interesting to see how Gaiman plays this out throughout the rest of the novel. The one individual that is not charged with the entire weight of a gender is Tristan. Tristan, who has always operated, even as he is a loner, in our story has operated in pairs. He is coming out to this star mission for a pretty lady. He then finds his dearly abducted, the star, who is a lady. Tristan is constantly interwound with a lady spirit. The brothers 3 became the brothers 1, which is a masculine energy. The sisters 3 became the sister 1, which is an effeminate energy. So what we're doing is we're pitting men versus women versus the lovers. So it will be interesting to see where we go with that. And sure, I think that we are 135 pages into this novel by now. The questions of gender have obviously been there, but they have not been so quintessentially put forth as they are in saying, I am a spirit possessed by or empowered by the prowess of the night spirits which attack men. So it'll be interesting to see where we go there. But it's another thing that we have to keep an eye on is on page 121. "I am on my way to find a star," said the witch queen, "which fell in the great woods on the other side of Mount Belly. And when I find her, I shall take my great knife and cut out her heart, while she lives and while her heart is her own. For the heart of a living star is a sovereign remedy against all snares of age and time. My sisters wait for me to return." We're remembering here. Obviously, it's the whole "I'm a villain, here's my plan" speech that we get so often. But it is to remind us that the feminine energy in this story is searching for youth and beauty. The masculine energy in this story is searching for power. The Tristan energy in this story, which has always come in pairs, is searching for love. So as we have these plots coming to a clash in a village near you, we have to keep our eyes on those things and what they mean to the characters involved in the story. That is all I have for this, the 5th in a 12-part series, Journeying Through Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I hope to see you back next week for Chapter 6. There are videos here on the channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mondays are for poetry. There are videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on my personal channel as well. I'll do my best to link in the comments below, pin a comment from that channel where you can just click on my little picture and go over there. Fridays, for the time being, for the next couple weeks, are for The Mandalorian. Following The Mandalorian, it seems, as soon as The Mandalorian ends, we'll start getting WandaVision episodes. I'm not sure if those are going to be on Friday or when those are going to be, but there will be a review on my personal... Hey, look, I ponied up and got Disney Plus. I may as well review the content they're on, right? So, on my other channel, I do movie reviews. I talk a little bit about music, some workout, some planning stuff, goal setting, things like that. Just a bunch of vlogish type stuff, YouTube type stuff that I don't really get the chance to do on here because I want to keep this channel about literature as much and as often as possible. I hope to see you back next time for another video. Hit subscribe, hit like, you sons of bitches.